not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show, live on Monday, February 9th, 2026. It is February already. Jake is dying, as you can clearly see. Puppy, are you sick now, Jake? You got the flu over there?
Oh, just the random sneeze that decided to show up right now.
Yeah, you're allergic to picking the winner of the Super Bowl, apparently. The Monty Show presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. What? It's not my fault. You were all in on Mike Vrabel, even though I told you they were frauds. The Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business. Been in a wreck, had a slip and fall. Maybe last night your Uber driver was celebrating the Super Bowl instead of watching the road. You didn't deserve for your Uber driver to drive like most people in this country drive. No, friends. If you've been in an accident, you need to get clear, risk-free advice. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And the best part is you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So you have nothing to lose. Get to theadvocates.com today. Why did you hate the Super Bowl? Because you were wearing me out during the Super Bowl. And admittedly, I don't often lean towards violence. I'm not nearly as violent as the Seahawks defense was, as I told you they would be, because I'm perfect. But the point is, you were wearing out my phone with how bad you thought the Super Bowl was.
That's one of the worst Super Bowls in my entire life, dude. It's an awful game. It's oh man, the Seahawks. They spent the most in the NFL on special teams. Yet Jason Myers doesn't get the Super Bowl MVP. Of course, it's got to go to JSN. Of course.
No, it did not go to JSN. Went to Walker.
Okay, Walker. All right, I got that wrong too. Yeah, great. Who cares? It's one of the worst Super Bowls that we've ever seen. Like, it's got to be one of the most unentertaining, one of the most boring. Like, I don't know what I don't know if the Patriots spent the 2 weeks getting ready for this game, not getting ready for the game, but getting ready for their trip to Cancun, or I don't know what the deal was, but that's one of the most just awful performances I've ever seen. And everyone's like, oh, well, this isn't a bad game. This is just the Seahawks being elite. Cool. Well, that eliteness or whatever spin you want to put on it made me not enjoy the game. And it's just not, what is there to hold on to from this game? Like, unless you're a Seahawks fan, there's nothing here that this is exactly what I was talking about.
Wins,
dude,
championships.
Great. They didn't have to play defense last night at a high level to win this game.
Yes, they did.
Patriots did nothing.
Let's not get carried away.
Nothing last night that would have put you in danger. Drake May played one of the worst games of his life. Early in this game, you could see he was gripping it. Early in this game, you could see that he was not feeling it. He was not ready to go.
The Seahawks pressured him at a historic level, and the Patriots the same. This was very clearly a situation where you had a much more experienced quarterback in Sam Darnold execute and react. And the Seattle defense, as I think I have been saying for the large part of the season, is the best defense in the NFL. And I know Houston Texans fans disagree. Okay, great. We saw a virtuoso defensive performance last night. And I agree. It's not, if you're a fan of, 55, 54 Super Bowls, which I'm not, I think it was a great Super Bowl. I think the second half was more entertaining than the first half. But when you have such a fine halftime performance as we did, there's no doubt people are going to come out of the locker room fired up and ready to go.
Unless you're wearing a Patriots jersey.
Or you don't speak Spanish. But that's not the point. We'll get to Bad Bunny in a second. I thought the Seahawks dominated this game defensively. They're the only team in the modern era of the NFL to have 0 turnovers in a postseason. And I think that is hugely indicative of why they were able to win and really play very, very good football throughout the postseason. They just didn't give the ball away. And I think Kenneth Walker justifiably is the Super Bowl, the MVP of the Super Bowl. The guy absolutely dominated that game. And it's not, I understand it's not fireworks. I understand people would have rather had JSN win the MVP than K9 win the MVP. But I'm telling you, this is how this football team was going to win the Super Bowl. They weren't going to win the Super Bowl throwing it all over the field, and they physically dominated the Patriots at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, my issue isn't with the Seahawks. This isn't a Seahawks conversation. The Seahawks did what they were supposed to do. The Seahawks performed the way you would expect them to. I'm not talking about the Seahawks today. I'm not talking about like, yeah, we're going to talk about Sam Darnold's journey and his story, and that's great. And I think it's a great story for the NFL. It's one of the great comeback stories or personal development stories that we've seen in ages. But there's just no denying it. Like, let's stop running from it. This is supposed to be one of the biggest sporting events of the year, and we're sitting here having to talk about a defensive virtuoso performance. Like, I don't. Why are we not talking about the fact that you had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and that's the best you could give us, Mike? Like, you're supposed to be the defensive wizard. You're supposed to be the guy that has your team ready to go. Like, that was the reason they brought you here. And now instead we get to talk about, yeah, it turns out you did have a really easy schedule the whole year. Turns out you did get a lot of breaks. Turns out, you being able to beat the Broncos was probably more about Bo Nix than you. And that's what's frustrating is that we get this matchup of like two teams that just didn't go up and down the field. It was a one-sided game the whole game.
And that's okay.
I guess that's okay for you. It's not okay for me. That's not a game. This is precisely what I was talking about on Thursday when we talked about this game. When everyone's like, "Oh, what do you mean that football is boring?" And what do you mean that it's you're not a huge football fan? This is partially why. This game yesterday smacked of college football game that was one-sided, great defense, just suffocating the offense. Mm-hmm. And we had I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, dude, how many field goals are we going to kick in this game? They're lucky. They're not lucky they did what they did in the second half. But like, if you had just done the same thing in the second half you did in the first half, this game, there would be no like, oh, this is a great game. Everyone would have just said, yeah, you know what? You beat the Patriots by kicking a bunch of field goals and spending more than anyone on special teams.
And scoring a defensive touchdown.
Yeah. We're different on it, and you think I'm being ridiculous about it, so it's fine.
I think you're over the top with it. Was it a wildly entertaining? No, it wasn't Adam Vinatieri at the buzzer, or I get it. It was good football. It was good football, and I saw the people saying, "Well, I'm going to turn it off," or "I'm watching something else," or "I'm not certainly going to go watch whatever that other halftime show was instead." But I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. To just mixing it in a little bit. Anyway, the point is, I think you're just over the top with it.
To go down the field one time, like just go down the field one time and make it competitive while they were still kicking field goals in the first half. That's all I wanted. Just make it a game. Like, give me a reason to stay. Like, as soon as you came out in the second half and got absolutely stuffed again, they go down and score. I was like, all right, cool. Great. So either Darnold's going to win the MVP, JSN's going to win the MVP, or then, K9 obviously goes off in the middle of the third quarter into the fourth quarter and wins that for himself.
Right.
So I just, it was just like, dude, we can like it was all there for us about 8 minutes into the third quarter. So I don't need Vinatieri to win the game. What I need is a team that can actually hang in the Super Bowl and go back and forth, so I don't get whatever the final score was, a lot to a little. That's what I need. Not a lot to a little. I need back and forth. Like if it was 17-14. Great defensive battle. They went back and forth. Like, great. That's a defensive battle. This was one really good team kicking the absolute crap out of another team that wasn't very good yesterday. That's where I come down on it.
Yeah, I thought it was a definitive victory, and I think it is
I'd say so.
A welcome return to good defense. I thought it was a I think you had listen, the Seahawks were a really good team all year and nobody paid attention. And we were talking about this all the way back to October. I think the NFL has a quarterback problem. I think college football has a quarterback problem. You saw it with Drake May. Drake May was not prepared to handle the ferocity of the Seahawks defense. And I think when you turn a guy over 3 times, I mean, it just or twice, I guess he threw 2 interceptions technically, because the touchdown was actually an interception. But it does not matter in the grand scheme of things. We can sit here and we can pick apart all the things the Patriots didn't have. They were soft. We talked about this all season long, and you guys all told me that just because I'm good looking doesn't mean I'm always right. And I agree with that.
Yeah, here, let me do this for you. Let me be the one that shows up and makes your point for you, since you were completely right about this again. And we get to talk about how you're the best and you're amazing, and everyone gets to criticize me for trashing this game. This is a game of Mike Vrabel not preparing his team and not doing what he needs to do to actually perform against his defense. This defense, let me break news here. This defense doesn't do anything that can't be handled, right? What does this defense do? This defense dominated your offensive line last night. They didn't need to load the box because they were getting home regularly, consistently, all the time, whenever they wanted. So why would they need to bring safeties down? Why would any opportunity open up for you down the field if you can't show the ability to protect Drake May? And then when he does get 2 seconds to look for his receivers, he just looks like he's not
Dude,
ready to play.
You seem really dialed up about this.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I'm not here for the spin on this game, dude. We can't on one hand say, oh, it's a virtuoso defensive performance. No, it's not. They played great. They did what they've been doing all year. The Patriots played like ass yesterday. Had no plan to handle this defense.
Understand, they're not talented enough to handle the defense. You're very young on the left side of the line. You got exposed. They were not in my listen. I think football at the end of the day, in these moments, the Super Bowl in particular, it's who handles the first 3 possessions the best. That was clearly the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
They were more prepared because they're a better, more experienced veteran team. It's what it came down to. On top of that, you have a really young, inexperienced quarterback in Drake May. You have a really young, inexperienced left side of the offensive line. And frankly, you had to, the biggest issue in this game was you had to throw the football to win the game. The Patriots could not run the football. And I think there was a certain level of hopelessness that set in on offense before halftime for the Patriots. They knew they could not run the ball. That's where the game ended. They knew they could not run the ball. And you saw Drake May getting better and better at the end of the game. But the interception deep down the middle of the field in the fourth quarter, have no idea what you were looking at. That ball was never being completed.
No.
The second interception that went for the touchdown, I mean, your offensive line gave you no time. Like, listen, you were just not on par because you were not prepared through the grind of the NFL season because you did not play enough quality opponents. Frankly, Denver was better than New England, and Sean Payton's really stupid. And that's why New England won that game. Like, we can sit here and make excuses. The Patriots just were not as good, as talented, or as tested as the Seahawks. The Rams did more for the Seahawks than any opponent the Patriots played did, because the Rams made this team prove it again and again and again. And they did. And I think that's why they I understand why Patriot fans are frustrated. I think it's comical that people are taking shots at Drake May as a guy that's a bust, or like example number one of why I do not get on to the old X machine. And I never, and I shouldn't say never, because clearly I did it last night. Just reading the for you section of X is a complete waste of time. Between the bigotry, the vitriol, and the idiots on X calling Drake May a bust, tell me you know nothing about football, right? Like what you saw last night, the pick six, the interception that went back for a touchdown. What do you want him to do? He's trying to throw the ball. He's got 3 defensive linemen on him, so much to the point that you don't even have to tackle him. You just were able to hit his arm because he was being hit by 2 other guys. Like, that's not Drake May being a bust. That's no quarterback is going to be able to perform with. Look at my guy, Caleb Williams, right? You look at Caleb Williams and you quickly understand that when you get an offensive line that will stand up and play for you, all of a sudden you become, I know it's crazy, you become a much better quarterback. And Drake May, I think losses like this are very painful, but you listen to Drake May after the game, he's clearly wearing this.
Definitely hurts. It's been a long ride. They played better than us tonight. They deserve to win that game, and speaking for the whole team and myself, just what a journey it's been for us. I love this team, love those guys in the locker room, and I'm gonna leave it all on the field. And I know a lot of guys did that tonight, and just came up short, didn't play our best, and that's what happens. Credit to them. We were moving it solid in the first couple drives, and we just have a couple negative plays that would kind of push behind the chains, and then from there we just couldn't stay ahead of the chains, and third and short we couldn't pick up some first downs, and they had brought some pressure where they got us a few times, and just got to be better with the football, make better decisions, and I got to make better throws when the game is is like that. I got to make some throws to help us move the football.
He owned it. I mean, I think he will learn and grow and be better from it. He seems to have the mental makeup to do that. I just think that when you don't have protection and you have rookies on your left side and an elite defense, like, what do they call them? The dark unit, dark meat, whatever they call the Seahawks defense. I don't know. I said no dark, idea. You guys, I said dark meat. Anyway, work with me, Jake.
Yeah.
My point is that you look at this dark side defense from the Seahawks. They absolutely exploited the weaknesses of the Patriots, and it came through. And then I think you have one of the great stories in sports right now in Sam Darnold. I think that Sam Darnold is a guy that should never have been here. I mean, after what happened to him with the Jets and Carolina, and then somehow he ends up in San Francisco, and then he goes to Minnesota, and now he's in Seattle, and he's a Super Bowl champion who didn't throw an interception in the postseason. How? It's one of the truly unbelievable stories. And you look at this photo, I just think there's so many storylines in this photo. And Jake sent me this photo last night. It's a phenomenal photo. It is just on an artistic level. It's fantastic. This dude's story, I think, is one of the best stories we have ever seen in the NFL. Because, again, it's this idiot take, Drake May's a bust. How many people said that about Sam Darnold? And we're right. After the Jet disaster.
Yeah.
Easy to give up on him after the Carolina situation. And then another miracle happens. And I know this is crazy. You go play for coaches who know how to, and I know this is going to throw some people off. You go play for some coaches who know how to coach quarterbacks. And look what happened.
Shocking.
You go play for the Kyle Shanahans. You go play for the KOs. You go play for the Clint Kubiaks. And all of a sudden, you're in systems and you're dominating, and the Minnesota Vikings make an inexplicably bad decision that allows Sam Darnold to become a free agent. And Geno Smith makes an inexplicably bad decision to overvalue himself. And the Seahawks swap Sam Darnold in, Geno out, and they are Super Bowl champions today. And I think it is the culmination of a bet on yourself. Don't listen to the haters and win. I think it is the obvious, over the top, he's a bust. Another USC quarterback that amounts to nothing. But just incredible storylines all over Sam Darnold. And I think it's what we should all aspire to do. Bet on ourselves. Don't let obstacles prevent you from moving forward, and understand that failure is not the end as long as you don't quit. That's all about Sam Darnold. Yeah, don't quit. And he didn't. He kept believing in himself, and he's a hell of a dude, a really good golfer, and now he's a Super Bowl champion, and I think it's what is great about football.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. It's a great story. I think that it's
just too bad the game sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I like, cool. I don't give a damn. If you're in the comment section criticizing me, cool. It's how I feel about it.
What's going on in the comment section?
I think that I am tired of, in football games, like, I watch so much football that I don't even watch it as a fan anymore. There are very few games where, like this game, I'm not watching this game because I'm a fan of either of these teams, or because I'm just so fired up to see these two. Sam's a great story. I'm happy for him. I completely agree that it's yet another story in life of, hey, you get around the right people, they help you, they develop you, they push you to new levels. And when you have that new skill set, when you develop, there's untapped potential, which he is now realizing. And I think that story, for once in the NFL, is one that I love. I'm glad that we're not talking about the underbelly of the NFL anymore with all the off the field issues they went through and all of that. I'm glad that we can talk about Sam's story. I think that's great for the league. But I have to say, like, I don't know, man. The Super Bowl is one of those events every year where it's like, hey, this is going to be a really good game. Like, this is going to be a game where I can at least know that both of these teams can go back and forth on each other. Doesn't mean it's got to be high scoring, right? I'm not saying it's got to be, 38-31 or like anything like that. It can be a 10-7 game, but it's the makeup of the game. It's the fact that the Patriots just were completely unprepared. Like, great, you have an inexperienced offensive line. Did you just wake up yesterday and figure that out? Is that not been something that you've been dealing with like the whole season? Like, is this somehow new? Like, that's what's so unbelievable to me about this game is that you had zero answers. Did you really think that you were going to play this game against this defense and they were never going to get home, or that you weren't going to have to like find some type of answer? I mean, where was the screen game? Where was the, hey, we're going to leak the back out, use the pressure against them? You're telling me Drake May can't complete to the back? We all know he can.
Well, I think the biggest problem with the screen game, the Seahawks were getting home with four guys on the line. Yeah. So the screen's not there. The screen's great when you're getting blitzed repeatedly and they're sending linebackers and corner blitz it. They were getting home with four dudes. That was the problem. And I think it's why when you listen to Tirico continue to say the left side sucks, the left side sucks. Like, I don't know how many times Shitty Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were talking about how bad the left side is. You can't throw a screen. And I'll give Josh McDaniel credit. I actually think with the circumstances, he called a pretty good game, because you were going to live and die with Drake May, and they died with him. Ricker says Bad Bunny was great. Okay, so what did we think of the Bad Bunny thing? You know, the wife and I, after we made the most amazing fillets last night, dude, get the fillets from Costco, salt and pepper, rub them in olive oil, put salt and pepper on them, put them in the fridge for 2 hours. Rub that meat up. Rub that meat. Then you put that thing in the oven at 450 for about 20 minutes. After you pan sear them, dude, juicy. Just homemade mashed potatoes. Juicy. These beautiful peas. Anyway, my point is, the issue for Bad Bunny was always going to be politics. Okay, so you put the politics aside, which you can't do, but you put the politics aside. The second issue is you turned off a portion of the audience because it was all in Spanish, right? So number one, I think that was going to be a huge problem right out of the gate. But if you believe Nielsen, not many people turned it off at all. And when you look at what Bad Bunny did, it's one of the historically great performances at halftime we've ever seen. I mean, you look at Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, Cardi B, you look at all of the cameos, you look at the storytelling inside of it, like just the issues with the electrical infrastructure on Puerto Rico was genius. The wedding, genius. No, that was not the kid that was scooped up by ICE that got his Grammy. That is not what that turned out to be. It was a nod to himself as a child. That's who he was giving the Grammy to. But you look at the storytelling inside of the halftime show, the actual performance, the fact that they marched out of the stadium and continued to perform outside. It's one of the historically great halftime performances ever. And I think the issue is it was in Spanish. So there's going to be a certain portion of the population who just write it off as Spanish and, right? It is what it is. But outside of those folks, if you paid attention, the message of unity, the message of pride in being from the Americas, the message of pride in being Latino and from the Latino community, it's one of the historically great halftime shows I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it was a little out of the box. That's why it's getting criticized as usual in our culture, right? I agree. I think it was refreshing that it wasn't massive stage, like, kind of traditional setup. I like that.
Bro, did you see the setup on that though?
Yeah.
There was a time lapse. I think this is remarkable. It's a time lapse video that's on the old X machine. They get 7 minutes to set up that entire field for the halftime show. Usually everything is on trucks, right? When you think about how they get the stages in, it's all motorized on wheels. Did you see like the cornfields, all the grass, all the infrastructure, the stages? They're all like manually pushing that stuff into place. And they did it in 7 minutes. I think that was remarkable. Anyway.
Which I think, by the way, is more time spent on the playing surface than the Patriots kicker had in the entire game. So credit to them. Credit to them, dude. Great job. Great job.
I think it is, yeah. Well, Dick Hammer.
Yeah.
The bushes running around were, again, Puerto Rican history, nods to the tradition of Puerto Rico.
Dick Hammer.
Those were crops because it was a nod to people that work in the sugarcane fields of Puerto Rico. Like it was just, the story was amazing.
I thought that for me personally, it was it being in all Spanish at first was an adjustment. I knew it was going to be in all Spanish. That's not like that was somehow surprising. It's been talked about obviously for ages, for 90 days leading up to the show. Like it's been all the drama online. So I wasn't like surprised, but I found myself watching it differently. I was not, it was like, I was watching this show for all the other stuff, not what he was saying, because I just didn't understand it, which is a me problem, not a show problem, which I think is the essence of the conversation. Like, it doesn't make it a bad show because you don't know Spanish, right? Like, that's just not how it works. And I think that I think at the end there, the message about unity is something that was very much welcomed by the masses. And I do think that, I don't know, this Super Bowl just for me was kind of, it just was different all around. Like,
it didn't resonate with you. You did not connect with this Super Bowl at all.
No, everything from like how the game was going to, and again, I thought he did a great job. I thought Bad Bunny did an absolute great job, great show, like everything you would expect out of one of his performances. Absolutely fantastic, but still just different than what we're used to. And so like the game, the show, like just, I don't know, man. I maybe it's just me being burned out on football. Probably is, but I just didn't feel like that overall Super Bowl Sunday was really like just a resounding success this year, the way it's been in other years.
Yeah, I think you're not alone. I think, yeah. And we can get into it. Rock and Rant, pretty hard to concern myself with opinions of people who are too ill-informed online, and called him an illegal because the so-called America First crowd doesn't know Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. I think that was a big part of the bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who don't know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. You're a citizen. Puerto Rico, you're an American.
Yeah.
Like you're an American. I think that's the right way to say you're an American. And as succinctly as I can say that, I just think people don't understand that, because most people have never been to Puerto Rico. Most people have never been there. So they don't understand the issues that are facing the people there. And because the people there don't speak their native language, English, it doesn't exist. And I think that's a huge problem. And I think what Bad Bunny did was brought a lot of awareness to it. And I think it was masterful choreography. I thought the script, I thought the choreography of it, for everybody who doesn't know this, the shitbag Dove Kleiman Twitter account that's trying to say that the red, white, and blue fireworks, and I'm sure he deletes it, and it's actually not even. You guys know the Twitter account Dove Kleiman? It used to be run by an NFL insider. That's no longer the case. They sold that account and got millions for it. And now it's run by a hack and a troll who's paid the tweet, in my opinion. And he was selling the conspiracy theory that the red, white, and blue fireworks that they tested on Wednesday were to celebrate a Patriots Super Bowl victory. Well, it turns out it was red, white, and blue for America at the end of the Bad Bunny halftime show.
Yeah.
Whoops. And every time Jake sends me one of that loser's tweets, I always say, I hate that account. I didn't like the show, but it's also just not what I like to listen to. I have never listened to a Bad Bunny song.
Yeah. I just don't know why it's so difficult to say, yeah, like, I'm not out here spending my days listening to dude's music. But again, this is the Pitbull conversation from the 2010s. Everyone was like, oh, well, dude, like, who's this Pitbull guy? And why do we need his type of music? Like, what do you mean his type of music?
But how upset was everybody about Dre and Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. Is that their type of music, dude? Like, we like to do this thing where it's like, oh, well, just because I don't listen to it means it's crap. Well, that's not true. That's not true. This guy's a global icon. And if you don't know that, if you're just uneducated, you don't know who the guy is, then that's on you, bro. Like, no, I'm not gonna sit here. I don't know a single one of his songs. Don't know the name of any of his songs. Have never listened to his music. But what do I know? I know the guy's a global icon. I know that there's a whole other world out there that does speak Spanish and that does love dude's music. And there's a lot of those folks that happen to live in the Bay Area. There's a lot of those folks that happen to live up and down the West Coast that would be, that would be excited to turn on the game.
20% of our population speaks Spanish. I mean, it's not like
it's a
you
lot of
were.
people.
Yeah.
Like, so I just,
yeah.
I feel like right now there's a lot of people who are unwilling to be like, yeah, like, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know dude's music, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it was a crap show.
That's just not the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's not the world we live in. Maury Alvarez, the math teacher, God, I hate math. It was easily my least. Trigonometry was hell in my life. It was not much better. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I like that. David Person's a member for 37 months. Do we have 40-month people?
Not yet, I don't believe. Coming, though, in the next month or two.
Okay. David Person's a member for 12 months. Yes. Excellent defense. You're exactly right. Excellent defense. Totally agree. Just incredible. But, Prince, Petty, and Who were good, James. I don't disagree with that. Great halftime shows. Why was it last night great?
Yeah, if you're going to come in here and say it wasn't great, you're going to have to expand on why it wasn't great.
No one knew the words to Star Wars theme either. Yes, I know. Music is always feel and emotion. Yes, correct. Why is Spanish a problem? Oh, because we absolutely... Well, right now it's because of the climate in our country. Yeah. And anybody who speaks Spanish is clearly illegal.
Well, anyone
that's
who's
the
not
sentiment, right?
Yeah, and anyone who's not, white old hair must be an illegal is the sentiment. Like, oh, hey, Bad Bunny's got brown skin, not white skin. Well, he must be an illegal then. How is he doing the halftime show?
It's the climate in our country that makes the Spanish speaking the problem. Yeah. We are, and listen, it doesn't matter to me. The whole political thing, we are incapable in this country of having conversations about politics, right? Like we talked politics last week on the Epstein stuff and people are like, stick to sports, fat ass. Okay. Listen, just because it doesn't agree with your opinion. I mean, come on. Nobody has been to an opera before. Well, maybe this is the wrong group of Philistines to ask. That's probably true.
But I think that
that's very true.
I think that what you're missing here, like you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think what you're missing in this comment is that the opera's not football. The opera's not the NFL. People come to the NFL because they want football and they want a halftime performance that they can relate to and their kids can relate to. And I think that the people who talk a bunch of junk on Twitter and are loudmouths about, this and that are the ones who didn't like this show. And that's as predictable as it gets, dude. I'm not surprised. Don't think anyone else is surprised. Like, you knew this halftime show was going to draw a lot of criticism, to which I say the NFL just gave you guys the bird because the NFL just put on a halftime show without a lick of English. And it's going to be regarded as one of the better halftime shows they've ever done.
And the NFL is clearly trying to grow their global it's a good business decision, dudes. Like, you don't have to like it, but I would expect you to understand it, right? I didn't turn off at halftime. 2 minutes into it, I took advantage and cleaned up the smoker before the second half.
Yeah, which like that's fine, man. I have no problem with that, dude. Like, that's the halftime's for.
Again, I think it's not what everybody wanted. The problem also was you couldn't get the Turning Point show. Not that I don't know.
I think that it's funny that the Turning Point thing was marketed as an equal competitor to the NFL halftime show, which first of all, nobody's competing with the NFL halftime show. So you can just take that and, do whatever you want with it, but you're not competing with the NFL halftime show. Secondly, I don't know how else to say it, dude. Kid Rock isn't 30 years old anymore, and he doesn't resonate with me. I haven't listened to an ounce of Kid Rock, just the same way I haven't listened to an ounce of Bad Bunny. And I just think it's hilarious that people are like, oh, well, the Turning Point show is a resounding success, even though we can't get the audio to sync up. The Turning Point show is a resounding success, even though we had all kind of licensing and copywriting issues with X, one of our biggest platforms where we talk all our junk online.
And Elon, who paid for the show.
Like, it's incredible, dude. Like, you can't make it up that the show that was supposed to be just blasting on Twitter so you could flip it on so you didn't have to see this terrible person at the halftime show couldn't even get that right, dude.
Do you read stuff before to see you're going to put yourself in a spot, dude? You can't compare Bad Bunny to The Who or even Bruno Mars. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? Why can you not compare Bruno Mars and Bad Bunny? Are they both men? Are they both wonderful singers? Are they both performers? Have they both sold millions and millions and millions of downloads? Have they both done the Super Bowl halftime show? That's 5 right there. Should I keep going? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, you're out of your mind. Pitbull is a better singer and rapper than Bad Bunny. Based on what? Tell me what the foundation of that is. Next season, let's get back to greatness. Steelers, Cowboys with Metallica for the halftime. Hey, an old guy can dream. True. Metallica would be amazing. The dark side defense was something special. Yes, historically great. Too many people get upset about whoever is the performer for halftime show during the Super Bowl. If you like the artist, watch. If you don't like him or the music, watch something else. It's not that difficult. I agree. Sean the Hammer. I'm back from Vegas, came out plus 400, only played slots. Okay. Did you see the dude that won all that money on the coin flip? Somebody placed a late, and I can't remember what it was. Somebody placed an incredibly late bet on the coin flip. And apparently he won. And I'm amazed by it. I'm amazed by it. A bettor at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas dropped $253,000 on heads, and he won. That's incredible to me.
Hey, man,
that is incredible.
If you are good with 50-50 odds on 250 G's, knock yourself out, dude. That's great.
Yeah. Midweek Cougar member for 23 months. Jake, I'll save you a spot for a Seahawks parade. It's going to go straight down pretty much.
Knock yourself out, dude. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun.
It's going from the Space Needle to Lumen, a block away from my condo. Seattle was pretty crazy last night. Like the fireworks off the Space Needle and the people partying on the streets, and it's one of the things I love about living in a pro sports town, especially the NFL. When your city has an NFL champion, the party's amazing. Sean the Hammer gives 1 Monty Show membership. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Talking Super Bowl, we'll get to the Mountain East coming up here in a minute.
So many ignorant takes, dude.
H-Town King 1 said we had Puerto Ricans and Dominicans at our Super Bowl party who were emotionally moved by the representation of the halftime show because it was amazing.
Yeah, I also think the other thing that needs to be said is all the people who are like, oh, well, I didn't understand what he was saying, so that means it's a terrible halftime show. You're also the guy that's probably, a little bit older, and you're probably not in the prime demo, dude. Like,
if your take is it sucked because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Listen, if your take is I couldn't connect with it because I don't speak Spanish, I didn't understand it because I don't speak Spanish, totally get that. I felt largely part of that until the imagery started. Once Bad Bunny is performing on a power pole, if you don't understand that imagery, you're disconnected from the world.
That is the essence of it. It's not that he was speaking Spanish, dude. He's painting a picture that doesn't require him to speak. That's what you don't get. He's sending messages through the performance.
Yes, and the field workers and I thought it was incredible. I thought it was, culturally speaking, for Puerto Rico, which again I think people don't understand is a U.S. territory. So Bad Bunny's not an illegal alien, James. Because that's the unfortunate part of this. That's where guys, anybody who says that Pitbull or Bruno Mars is better than Bad Bunny, you don't have anything to base that on. You can't. The thing that bothers me about our country right now is you're going on about, like, the president talking about how Bad Bunny is not talented. Dude, you can say a lot of things about that halftime show. You can't watch that halftime show and say, that guy who I don't understand a word coming out of his face, man, how untalented is that guy? You can't. That just does not go through anybody's logical mind.
Yeah, and if you're saying that, you're choosing to just be, stubborn.
The very fact that he can move his crotch like that, that's a talent unto itself. Anyway, my point is,
his cock.
And you can call me a package peeper.
Well, I couldn't pack his pack. Anyway, his hands are too big. The point is, listen. You can't watch that halftime show and say he's not talented. And if you do, you're dense. You're dense.
Bro, yes. Yes, he is, dude. Yes, he is. Like, you need to do your homework on this, bro. You look foolish right now.
What do you mean his music is? What about his music is bad? You can go ahead and say it. You don't like his music because it's not in English. So I can't connect with it. So I don't know if it's good or bad. Okay, I can actually comprehend that. The idea that you have no idea who Bad Bunny is, in my opinion. That's just my guess. And I'm not comparing anybody to Prince because Prince is a historically great performer. But here's what you're doing that you should never do. You don't knock a guy down like Bad Bunny because you don't connect with him. Do I connect with, like, Ricky Martin? I don't connect with Ricky Martin. I don't connect. Honest to God, I don't connect. I know 2 Gaga songs, I think. She's an incredible talent. What are you talking about? I don't connect. Like, my wife loves Queen. I don't love Queen. Freddie Mercury was an incredible talent. What are you talking about? Like, you're out of your mind.
And by the way, I just want to point this out too. I could be fuzzy on this. It's not my area of expertise, but didn't Bad Bunny just win a Grammy for album of the year, like song of the year, or something like that? Didn't he just win?
He dominated. Yes. Yeah. Do you guys, do I really have to, James? Man, I am.
And why is this the way you want to frame the conversation, dude? Like, why is it that you go right to, is he as good as Prince or The Who? Well, maybe he's never going to be as good as those guys to you, but I don't care about The Who. They were a great band back then. They're not today. We're not talking about the 70s, dude, or the 80s. Like, we're not talking about that time in music.
Do you understand that he has the most streamed album of all time? This is a simple Google search. The guy has sold over 145 million records. And you're out of your mind. Chewy for $5. Seaman Demon James, quote, halftime show was bad because I didn't know what the guy was saying, end quote.
I mean, it's just like when we don't have to say it, dude, like.
James. Like, I get it. No, Chewy. Bruno Mars is a generational talent. He is amazing. Bad Bunny is good, but do you think he's as talented as Prince?
Brother, we're not talking about Bruno Mars or Prince, dude. We're talking about Bad Bunny. Like, I don't get it.
Joey Harper. Oh, it's a good day for you, sir. Member for 28 months, Joseph. The only thing the Patriots won last night was the coin toss. I would be the same way.
And by the way, James, quick question, dude. Why are you not making stadium improvement jokes with the power plant situation? How are you not living up to the brand on that front? Like, come on.
No, James, you can't spin this now. You cannot spin this now. I said Bad Bunny is good, yet that's perceived as an insult. I'm gonna give you a free pass because you're putting yourself in a corner that you're not going to be able to get out of. Why are we comparing Bad Bunny to Prince or Bruno Mars, or why are you not comparing him to Snoop and Dre? Are you telling me that Snoop and Dre are not generational talents? Because I got news for you. It would be very easy to compare the connection that Snoop and Dre have in their communities,
Compton,
to what Bad Bunny has in his communities. Why are you're out of your depth. What Snoop and Dre mean culturally is exactly the same conversation we're having about what Bad Bunny means culturally. Do you understand how important Bad Bunny's performance was to the Spanish-speaking Latino community? Not in this country, globally. Do you understand how important that performance was? Do you understand how important geopolitical, the on-the-ground issues, how impactful that performance was? Like, if I have to explain this to you, yeah, Dick Hammer's probably right. James, it feels like you hate Bad Bunny and you hate rabbits in general. And I'm not really sure why you hate rabbits. That real awkward guy. Look, I'm native Spanish speaker. I like a lot of Bad Bunny songs. He was out of breath from the start. He just sounds terrible live. Okay, could be. Maybe not his best performance. James would have appreciated the show more if Bad Bunny had an upper deck on the building he used as a prop. I would agree with that.
There you go.
I would agree with that.
Was it the lack of dropping in from a parachute or flying through the air on a wire that made it a bad show? Yeah.
Could be. There's a lot of artists that sell a ton of albums. Does not mean I have to like them. Truth. The whole boy band stuff was massive, but not my cup of tea. Nothing wrong with it. And I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. And has anybody sold more albums recently than her? It's not that you have to like his music, but just say, I don't like his music. And you can stop there. Just say, I don't connect with his music. He doesn't sing in English, or he performs in Spanish. Okay, cool. I can get down with that. That's where it should stop. It shouldn't be because he's not Prince. Okay. I didn't understand the words in Spanish, but I bet it still sounded better than it would have in English. Maybe. Jeremiah Champion. He's a substitute teacher now with a roommate who pisses on the floor. I literally just logged in and James is already on one. Yes. James, you could have said the rap music is not your favorite genre of music. You could have. You use the word great, not me. If you said Bad Bunny is great, then you have to compare him to great talents. I do.
Okay, here. Let's make sure we're on the same page about what you define as a great team or talent. Anybody see the Oklahoma State performance over the weekend after James came in here and tried to tell us that Oklahoma State was a great team? Was it the fact that you were down 73-40 at the half or whatever it was? Like, don't spin this, dude. You didn't like the guy because he's not Dave Matthews. You didn't like the guy because he's not cookie cutter token guy that you relate to, which is fine. Yeah. Just be accountable to that. Just stop spinning it to make it about Prince or whatever, dude. This guy is one of the best talents we have in music right now. And if you can't see that, then you need to do your homework. You do.
Yeah. You don't accidentally sell. You don't accidentally sell the volume or download the volume that he's sold and be bad or not be like, I don't know. I think we just get over the top with it. That's all. I mean, yeah, Oak State catching strays. Oh, they're going to catch a lot more strays in about an hour.
I don't care if you don't like Bad Bunny per se. That's not my issue here. Generally speaking, not just with James, but you're included because you're on that side of the fence. Like, my issue is people's just unwillingness, just unwavering stubbornness about saying, hey, like, yeah, this guy is sold more albums or has more albums sold on one album than Bruno did in his entire career, right? Like, this guy's got Grammys. This guy's got everything that you would ever want as a music artist. It's obvious as to why he was selected to do a Super Bowl halftime show. Because again, the other thing that needs to be said is not every great artist is cut out to do a Super Bowl halftime show. It's a very specific skill set. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not for everybody, which is why I think sometimes you get, repeat Super Bowl shows. You see the Rihannas of the world a lot. You see the Lady Gagas of the world a lot. But you're not seeing, you're for whatever reason haven't seen Taylor Swift do a Super Bowl halftime show yet. You haven't seen, Drake do a Super Bowl halftime show yet or whatever. Like, it's just not for everybody in terms of artists. So the guy deserves credit for doing the show, number one, and being able to do it and accepting the challenge.
But we hate on every halftime. Look how much heat Kendrick got last year. Wasn't that last year Kendrick Lamar did the halftime show?
Yeah, people said last year that they couldn't understand what Kendrick was saying. Same thing they're saying this year.
It's never good enough. Why can he not say he likes other artists over him? Well, he totally can, but that's not what he's saying. If he would say, well, I prefer Bruno Mars and Prince. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Jeremiah is going to have to teach bathroom hygiene, and I believe he is. James, what's not great to you is not going to be great to somebody else. That's why art is subjective, correct? What is great to you is not great to somebody else. And art being subjective is exactly right.
He's not saying that, though. See, again, Mike, you want to die on this hill, then you're going to die on it, dude. He's not saying that. What James is saying and what a lot of people are saying is that this dude didn't do a good show, or that maybe he's good, not great, or that maybe he's average, because they can't understand what he's saying. And they're not educated enough to understand the power pole reference or to understand any of the things that he was talking about in that show. And you know what speaks to the greatness of that show? Not the fact that it's at the Super Bowl, not the fact that he's got the balls to do it in front of a country that is going to judge him and be merciless to him for not speaking English. The fact that he comes out before the show and says, I'm not doing it in English and maybe Americans should learn Spanish. Do you know how much cojones that takes? So not only did you do that before the show, but then you do the show and then you have all the messaging come through clearly, succinctly, without you speaking a lick of English. That's what speaks to bro's greatness.
Yeah. I agree. Jay McClanahan, the Super Bowl parade will have its own smoke machine. Dude, the weed that will be burned in this town. Ooh. I would not have predicted it, but I'm generally proud of the chat comments today. Well done, community. Yeah, I should also point out that Marcus also said, I'm surprised the bigots aren't here today. I didn't want to read that, but you opened the door.
They're always around.
You know. You know. Ron Loney said, let's end the freak shows. What do you mean? Who's been a freak show? Right? But that real awkward guy, Kendrick, was calling Drake. He was.
Yeah, and we were all here for it. Notice no one has issue for that.
You know. But he is saying that. Okay.
Yeah, I just disagree, Mike. So, whatever.
Okay. Bad Bunny was in the 2022 WWE Royal Rumble. Did not know that. Bad Bunny was selected as a halftime show because he has some talent and sells a lot of music. I do prefer. He has some talent. Okay. All right. Give James a break. He's had a 4-hour-long lecture.
Yeah, whatever. We should move on. We should move on 6 o'clock.
We should. It's fine. So are you just going to stick with the Super Bowl sucked and so did the halftime?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What did you make? What did you eat?
What did I make? I made more of my Costco chicken thighs on the smoker. Those were outstanding. I didn't really being on Zepbound, I didn't really eat a lot. It wasn't I didn't have I just didn't eat a lot.
So you are doing Zepbound again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said that I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how did it impact your Super Bowl party?
I mean, I just didn't have any of the usual stuff, like usual suspects at a Super Bowl party, just generally speaking, would
chips
be
and
like
salsa.
Chips and salsa, Timmy, soda, wings. Maybe we've done ribs here and there on Super Bowl. We've done
pizza.
Like I didn't really have any of that. I had a little bit of chicken. I had some rice in the fridge, and literally that was it. Like I didn't do all that this year. It was very much and maybe that's why it was so unenjoyable for me. I really wanted this game to be good, so I had something to hold on to. Like I don't know. I just found it to be like I agree the Darnold story is great. Like this team represents a lot of great things, a lot of the right things, great job to them. It's literally not, my issues have nothing to do with the Seahawks. No issue with the Seahawks. My issue, mainly from a football perspective, my issue is that the Patriots need to draft an offensive lineman who can do anything for them on the football field. And I guess I just wanted a better game. Like everyone misconstrued what I said earlier in the show. I'm not asking for 60-point game. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a competitive game. That's it. Like if the Seahawks had beat this Patriot team, 17-7, but it was competitive, the Patriots were, got down to the goal line, turned it over, Seahawks went back down. Like, okay, great. Like that's a great football game. I can get down with that. But I just was like, dude, it's over and over and over again. Pressure.
Yes.
Can't move the ball. Pressure. Turn the ball over. Pressure. Like it just
Will Campbell's a problem. I mean, I think he's going to have to. I don't know how you fix that, but that left side, yeah. Listen, I think in general, I enjoyed the Super Bowl. The second half of the game was much better. I thought the halftime was good. The food was amazing. I had some pretty shitty company. It was just me and my wife. So, my dog. Thank you. And it's not my dog, my wife's dog, because that dog. I had a nice, quiet Super Bowl. And I loved it. Like I said, we made fillets, mashed potatoes, and peas. And it was awesome. And I had organic cherries for dessert. And they were amazing. I'm old. What do you want from me? Is what it is though, right? Like, it just is what it is. Wow. Okay. Chewy, give James a break. He had a 4-hour long net. Okay. Snoop and Dre are great rappers. If you want to say he's great, that's your opinion. I think he's good, not great. I would have rather seen Pitbull. Okay. Toilet Paper USA halftime show sucked. Low energy like Jeb Bush. Didn't see it.
Nope.
Didn't see it. You know. So, all right, let's get to the big story because Buddy gave us $20 to say the Mountain West Conference is now the best G6. Well, let's get into that conversation because I'm not sure that I'm buying that. Let's talk about what we've been talking about for the better part of 6 months. I went back to last July, so almost a year. Was the first time we mentioned North Dakota State joining the Mountain West Conference. On that show, Pac-12 people came in and said, no, you're stupid. Okay. I take lots of pride in telling Pac-12 fans you were wrong again. This is a big one. It's North Dakota State joining the Mountain West. How shocked were you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, just like you said, I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but I think that this one it might be harsh to say out of the blue, but definitely this was definitely out of left field for a lot of people who have not been following this. And I think that it's unequivocally a win. There's just there's just no way to spin that this is great for the Mountain West. I think that, the people criticizing this saying, well, how could you leave FCS and guaranteed championships to go to FBS? Well, because you want to improve your situation. You want to compete at a higher level.
Yes.
You want to, I would guess the play here for North Dakota State is, hey, well, yeah, let's try to shoot for the moon here. Let's try to compete at the highest level of the G6 with where college football is going. That should still get us access into the CFP if we're able to put that together just the way Boise State was able to put it together. And we feel that we can compete with any G6. And they honestly, in their heart of hearts, being that they made this move, they probably feel like they compete with a lot of power teams, honestly, because you wouldn't have made this move if you didn't have aspirations of getting to the CFPs. So, yeah, I just think, it was a little bit out of left field, I think, for a lot of people, but it's absolutely a win. And I think that, everybody went, what I thought was funny is everybody last year went from, oh, well, North Dakota State's incredible. Look at this team. They're amazing, to, oh, they joined the Mountain West. What a loser team. This conference sucks. Like, you guys are just hating because it's the Mountain West. If the Pac-12 had done this, it would have been like a resounding success and everyone would have said the Pac-12 is incredible. And that's what I think this kind of smacks of.
I think the hard part is it's not going to be an immediate transition. I think and the details are North Dakota State's going to pay about $20 million out of pocket. 12 to the Mountain West, 5 to the NCAA to go from FCS to FBS. And other ancillary costs. They're going to be north of $20 million to make this move, number one. Number two, there is going to be, over the course of a season, you're not going to be able to have the success you had in FCS and FBS. There is going to be a ramp up that's probably going to take a year or two. So I would not expect North Dakota State to come in and go to the college football playoff this coming season. I think that if that happened, that would be one of the unbelievable stories in the history of college football. But it's very difficult to explain away how incredibly impactful this edition is for the Mountain West. It is an unequivocal win. It is an unequivocal body blow to the Pac-12. This is a huge loss for the Pac-12.
How so? Because a lot of people, I think this is where Pac-12, this is kind of what I think Pac-12 defenders not really looking to talk about.
One, it's just another tip of the cap to Gloria Nevarez, who I will just continue to tell you is running circles around the Pac-12. This is Gloria Nevarez continuing to leverage her relationships. This is Gloria Nevarez continuing to make practical and shrewd moves. This is Gloria Nevarez not curled up on the floor in the fetal position as the Pac-12 would have you believe. And this is just another decisive decision that moves the Mountain West further and further ahead of the Pac-12. This isn't legal fees. In fact, you're getting paid from this. This isn't something you have to fight about. It's done. And the best part is, as much as we've heard the conversations, as much as we've talked about it since last summer, it's been very quiet for 60 to 75 days. You've heard nothing about this story. And then it was done. And what that tells you is the Mountain West has a business operation that's airtight. So there aren't leaks everywhere. There aren't people trying to poke holes in the hull of the ship. Right? This is an operation that is growing and succeeding and moving forward. Yet if you're the Pac-12, your message is this conference sucks. They're dying. There is no way to spin it. Adding North Dakota State is an unequivocal victory for the Mountain West. Adding North Dakota State to the Mountain West is an unequivocal loss for the Pac-12. Because it is just this continuing business operation that is overcoming the obstacles that the loss of these 5 members to the Pac-12 created. It's as simple as that. Because North Dakota State is roundly respected as a football program. They are a football-only member. You now have 10 football members playing. And the other part of this that I think is so remarkable is you're going to be able to leverage North Dakota State and their championship heritage to make more deals. You're going to be able to match make up. Like, there's nothing bad about this. It just is an unequivocal win. And if you are the Pac-12, I would hope that you tried to do something similar. In fact, I know they tried to get North Dakota State and could not. And that's the other part of this that is so massive. They chose the Mountain West over the Pac-12. That is a huge, huge win. I just think in every aspect of it, I just don't know how you argue it. Does North Dakota State put the Mountain West ahead of the Pac-12 in football? Probably not. Does it put them ahead of the Pac-12 as a conference? No, because the Mountain West has already been ahead of the Pac-12 as a conference. And I'm going to continue to drive this point home. You look at the deal that the Mountain West announced for their media rights distribution, and you contrast that to the Pac-12. That's a loss for the Pac-12. Now you've added North Dakota State. The real issue is the Pac-12 isn't on better financial footing than the Mountain West is. They're simply not. And putting North Dakota State in the Mountain West gives them significantly more stability than the Pac-12 has. Because as we reported exclusively on the show, and now everybody's reporting, there are frustrations inside the Pac-12 with the lack of financial resources coming out of the media rights deal. So you have internal frustrations. You have a commissioner not delivering on the promises she made. You have a TV distribution deal that doesn't have the reach that the Mountain West deal has. Not only did the Mountain West not lose television partners, they added television partners, including one that you now share in the CW. This is not a good day, Jake, for the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's another situation where they're going to have to find a way to spin it. And, you know, I've just been seeing all weekend about how, oh, well, they went to the Mountain West, not the Pac-12, because they can't win in the Pac-12, or they did this, or they like. I've been seeing that. That's like a very common take that I'm seeing, and it just tells me that Pac-12 fan doesn't have any depth or ability to defend this situation, because there is no defending it. Like you don't have a way to to say that this is a loss somehow, or somehow this is a bad move.
Yeah.
And I think that, the other thing that needs to be said, if we kind of, step back from just business dealings and like what the conference is doing, I think that it's also a win on the, just the morality front, like the ability as a conference to go from the, that time and place where you were making a scheduling agreement with the Pac-12 to now all the way to this point where you've got this new TV deal, this new media rights distribution deal, because it's not just TV that's selling it short, but new media rights deal. Now you're adding schools, so you're expanding. Like, I just think it just shows a level of operational capacity that I don't think the Pac-12 has proven yet. I think that it's still, every time the Mountain West does something like this, where they add or they get a win or like something productive happens, I just find myself thinking, dude, like, why couldn't the Pac-12 figure it out at the table when everyone was still in this conference? When you had all those great brands, you're all sitting around a table, and the best you could do was to dissolve the conference. That's still what sort of always floods back in. I'm like, dude, we really have to spend another day talking about the Pac-12 being where they're at. Because if we're talking about wins and losses, we can't just skip over the part you're only here because of the bad decision making that you've been making for like 15 years, dude. And so I really work hard not to like pile on the Pac-12 and make it a anti-Pac-12 thing. But it puts me in a tough position not to do that when all Pac-12 fan wants to talk about is we're the best and this is a terrible move and screw the Mountain West and they're terrible and who wants to play in that dumb conference or that budget conference. Like,
I saw the take over the weekend that North Dakota State joined the Mountain West because they knew that they would never be able to compete in the Pac-12 in football. They won 10 of 12 FCS championships. And you think their mentality is we can't compete in the Pac-12. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's just, and the fact that this gets the Mountain West to 10 members that play football.
Huge.
So I think the Pac-12 has got to figure out how to do good business consistently. And this is another indicator that leadership in the Pac-12 is failing. You are beyond the financial disaster strong. The Pac-12, and talking to administrators who know that situation very well, the Pac-12 does not have an answer for how it is going to make enough money to get out of the hole that they are in. That's what I would be focused on if I were the Pac-12. Because the very fact that North Dakota State is paying over $12 million to join the Mountain West, you're telling me the Pac-12 couldn't use that money? The regional alignment with Colorado State and Boise State, you're telling me that wouldn't have made complete and total sense for the Pac-12?
And I would also point out if this is, if you're a Pac-12 fan criticizing this, then you are required to talk about, well, why is it that they chose the Mountain West over the Pac-12? If our offering is so much better, then wouldn't that inherently mean that it's not really about what's going on the field per se? Like if the opportunity in your conference is just so much better and your schedule's better and your TV's better and everything's better, then why did they go to the Mountain West? Well, it just doesn't math. It doesn't quite add up. And that's where, and I've said this a few times over the past couple of months talking about this, but I just think that it's okay if you're a Pac-12 fan to say like, yeah, our leadership's not doing great right now. Like we got to find a way to improve. And I'm still waiting for the Wickervilles of the world to speak again. Haven't heard anybody in this conference say anything about anything for how long? How long has it been? When are we going to hear from Teresa Gould again? When are we going to hear from anybody? Because that's the thing that really stands out to me. All this stuff is all material the Mountain West is giving us to talk about them, right? The TV deal, the addition of North Dakota State, the battle on the legal front that seemingly you're winning in the Mountain West, because if the Pac-12 was actually winning, we'd have heard that. So the fact that it's been dead silent tells you that, yeah, it's probably not going the way they want it to go. So I just think it's funny. It's really quiet. There's not much happening. Like
silent.
Like no PR, no actual moves. Like, and even when you announced your TV deal, what did everybody say? Take us out of it for a minute. But like, what did everyone say nationally? Whoa, where's the money in this deal? What's the money? There's no money being reported. Where's the money? Because that's what we all care about, right? This is like this narrative in this story about Big Ten schools just being in astronomical debt, and like you're getting money talks in other areas of college football, but not out of this conference. And again, that to me continues to be the thing that speaks the most. You're not talking about your financials because your financials are not on strong footing. And anybody saying opposite of that just is either biased and doesn't want to tell the truth or is uneducated. And that's where I say this is a win for the Mountain West. This is a good addition. They chose the Mountain West over the Pac-12 for a lot of reasons. And it's just hard to get away from that.
Yeah, I am like, it hurts my brain to think about the money that the Pac-12 has lost, and it never had to happen. And I continue to go back to the Canzano and Wilner people of the world who have routinely given the Pac-12 a forum to spew disinformation. Because that's what it is, in my opinion. It's disinformation. The back of the envelope calculation nonsense. Canzano consistently predicting doom and gloom for the Mountain West. And at every turn, that just has not been the case. And the media mouthpieces that feed these half-truths saying that, like the folks saying that the Mountain West is losing $5 million a year on this new TV deal. You just have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't even know how to justify that kind of stupidity. You have to look at what is readily available to you information-wise. The Mountain West has outmaneuvered the Pac-12 and it's exiting 5 members since the moment that they told the Pac-12, yes, we'll join your conference. You've just been left behind. And now you're in a position where you should have merged with the Mountain West. That is inarguable. I will continue to tell you, Gloria Nevarez has asked multiple times the Pac-12, let's merge. Let's have merger talks. The Pac-12 has said no every time.
Facts.
Every time. And yet, you just, in the Pac-12, keep doing business the way you've always done business, and you keep expecting a different result.
It's just incredible. I mean, again, it's not, again, I want to point this out. I keep pointing it out. It's not, notice we're not saying it's business as business has always been done in this situation between these two conferences. No, this is how you've been doing business for, again, like the better part of 15 years. Like you're going on 2 decades of doing business this way, dude. And then somehow it's like, oh, well, we're surprised. And it's like, well, how can you be surprised when this goes all the way back to the financial malpractice of Larry Scott all those years ago? The offices in downtown San Francisco, the jets, the lack of
the suites
TV
in Las
deals.
Vegas.
Yeah, the suites in Las Vegas, like all
not
those
making
things.
a direct TV deal, not making a Google deal,
all of it falls under we're spending way more money than is coming in. And I'm a big believer in this now, man. Until you get on the right side of that quotient, you can't say that you're in a good place. You have to be, more money in than more money out. And there are many ways to do that, right? You can get more money in, more money out by cutting costs. You can make more money. Like there are a lot of different ways to go about that, but we can't even really discuss that at this time because there's very clearly so much more money flowing out of the conference than into the conference. The legal fees alone should tell you that.
And again, I just point to where's all the money in the basketball tournament going to go this year? Because you look at the teams projected to make the NCAA tournament. And I don't know if Boise gets in, but let's just say
Gonzaga.
Let's just say Nevada, New Mexico, San Diego State, and Utah State, because I think they're all locks to get in.
Yeah.
All that money stays in the Mountain West. It all stays in the Mountain West.
Monty? What do you mean, Monty? How is that possible? They're in the Pac-12. Not yet. Not yet. Did you forget about that? You forgot about that, didn't you? That it's not yet.
I also think you start looking at the way these other games played out. Yeah, it is the CFP money last year. I'm telling you, this has not been a great run for the Pac-12.
I mean,
I don't know how you fix that.
Dude, you want to talk about squeezing the orange for absolutely every drop. The Mountain West is getting every single ounce of money out of these departing members that it can get. And again, I'm not criticizing them.
I would agree.
That's what they should be doing. But I think it's a great point. The tournament, the Boise State appearance, now you've got North Dakota State paying you to join your conference. Like, I mean, dude, the new TV, the new media rights deal, how many wins here, dude? Win after win right now. And yet, again, we haven't heard really anything out of the Pac-12. And I agree, in fairness to them, you're not technically a fully formed conference yet. That's fair. I agree that needs to be said. But you would just think at some point there would be, hey, like, we're going to work diligently and earnestly to end our dispute with the Mountain West. We're like, there are ways to do updates here and create positive PR for the conference that just are not being utilized.
Timothy, David Person says, Goes Naga is probably not regretting the move because they are basketball only and can win in that conference.
Timothy.
Yeah. Goes Smaga is
Gonzaga.
Probably too close to
Gonzaga.
Okay. We'll see. I think if you're an exiting member of the Mountain West, you're regretting your move right now today.
Already.
Can the Pac-12 turn it around? Probably. Will it? Probably not. Not until Teresa Gould's not the commissioner of that league.
Which, I don't know. I'm curious how she's viewed right now. And I do think that's a very fair question. I mean, if you're a departing member, and she's going to be your new commissioner, I don't know. Do you feel good about that? Like, do you feel strongly about that opportunity?
I don't think, and it's interesting, reaching out to people and talking to people around the Mountain West and administrators in college football. Nobody specifically will say that, well, I'd rather have Teresa Gould over. Nobody's ever going to say that. The respect, and I know, and again, I'll preface this, Gloria Nevarez pays us. She's in our pocket. You guys just want to hit that. Like all
we
the
have
ridiculous
an equity deal with the Mountain West.
The ridiculous stuff that Pac-12 fans always say. Gloria Nevarez is universally respected. There are no questions about her reputation as an operator. And that is such an unequivocal advantage, unquestioned, the leadership of the Mountain West has been strong and firm and decisive in adding membership, adding Grand Canyon, adding UTEP, adding Northern Illinois, adding North Dakota. It's hard to say that any of those are terrible moves. It's hard to say any of those are mistakes. It is what it is. I don't know. I think in football, it is going to be very close quality-wise between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. The Mountain West, obviously, you lose Boise, you lose Fresno, you lose San Diego State, who hasn't really been great in football, but we'll see. You lose Boise, you don't replace some of those brands. Well, then you go and get North Dakota State, and I would think not this year, but next year they'll be significantly better and on par with any of those teams, including Boise State. You don't accidentally win. What have they won? 10 in the last 12? You don't accidentally win 10 championships. That doesn't accidentally happen. This is a good move. This is a good move. And you just start looking at blow for blow. I wish Grand Canyon was better. I don't know if Grand Canyon is a tournament team or not. We'll find out. I wish they were better. Right? They're not. They're going to be a consistently good basketball program moving forward. As is Gonzaga. Gonzaga didn't join the Big 12. And why didn't they join the Big 12? As we, again, had exclusively on this show.
Gonzaga.
They wanted a free pass to the NCAA tournament, and they got it. And they got it. Basketball only. They're going to go to the tournament every year out of the Pac-12 because how can you not? They got it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. The proof is always in the pudding, right? The proof is always in the pudding. How many people are going to turn on the TV and watch Mountain West football? That's what matters. That's what matters, because that's how you make your money in this business. People have to, as Marcus always tells me, if nobody is turning on the TV, what's the point of having it on?
Yeah.
Right? Like that is the whole enchilada. If nobody is going to turn on the TV to watch North Dakota State football, why are we putting North Dakota State football on TV? So the proof is in the pudding. We're in a performance-based business. It's as simple as that, right? Like, it's just tough when you look at, I always go back to business acumen because at the end of the day, that's what college sports are about.
Right.
We are in this position where we are in the world of college sports because of shitty leadership. It really is as simple as that. And I think that when you look at the loudmouth Pac-12 fans, they're always wrong. They're always wrong. It is, you can point to specifically San Diego State fan who just routinely is wrong. Like the whole
again
JD
and again and again.
Over and over. The whole JD Wicker thing. Again and again and again. And JD Wicker and Adela Della Torre have not put one step right since the day they tried to join the old Pac-12 with the pro rata we deserve. You're losing money on the Pac-12 right now. You finally got, the list is, and JD Wicker should not be your athletic director. He's not done anything to deserve that job. Yet you laud him as a hero. You laud him as a hero. You're looking at the Mountain West, putting together a better TV deal than you did, expanding at a significantly better rate and quality than you did. Like, is there anybody who would take Texas State over North Dakota State?
No.
And if it is in fact true that the Mountain West is not done expanding, dude, you had better hope it's not South Dakota State. You'd better hope it's not, because I think there are some people who would tell you that Sacramento State would be a good fit. Sacramento State should be in the Pac-12. It is as simple as that. And why that has not been done yet, I have no idea. That is the logical of logical moves. Why is Sacramento State not in the Pac-12
Money.
yet?
That's why.
It is the perfect example of the Pac-12 not operating. You have to do something. You have to do something. Sacramento State is the easy solution to what ails the Pac-12. Large market, good fan base, well-supported, financially funded athletic department at Sacramento State. It gives you the capital city of the state of California. Another anchor on the West Coast. Yet it's not done yet. Why? Sacramentans absolutely support Sacramento State. It's hard to argue that that's a great move for the Pac-12. Why have they not done it? How have they not made that happen yet? Because they don't have value to sell. That's what should be scary if you're a Pac-12 fan. And if that Sacramento State move doesn't happen, and again, I've been told point blank, Mountain West is not done adding teams. If you get to, because you're not just going to have 11 teams. If the Pac-12 were to expand to 12 football members, you are almost dead in the water in the Pac-12. If the Mountain West gets to 12 football members, you are dead in the water in the Pac-12. This is not a conversation anymore.
Yeah, that wouldn't look too good.
And if it were me and I were Gloria, I would absolutely, and I know that they have, I would vet that flip out of Sacramento State. That would absolutely be a kick in the balls of the Pac-12 if Sacramento State were to join the Mountain West. That would be, I mean, you're essentially planting a Mountain West flag in their backyard.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see, man. All the proof is in the pudding. Are people flipping on the TV to watch your product? Are they streaming your product on their phones? Right? And it's so interesting with the YouTube TV piece of this. Do you guys understand that more people now are watching YouTube TV? It's so YouTube itself, like the where you watch this show.
Yeah, just YouTube.
Is growing its reach on televisions. Like YouTube is growing. I think 26% of our audience watches this show on a TV.
Yeah.
74% watch on a tablet or a phone. Do you understand that it's flipped on YouTube TV? Almost all of YouTube's TV's audience had been on televisions. And now we're slowly starting to see that assimilate to phones. And a lot of streaming content is proprietary to televisions, that genre. But you look at sports. Sports is available on a TV. It is available in streaming. It's available on a TV. It's available on a tablet. And it's available on a phone, a mobile device. And now YouTube TV is starting to move. They're into the middle teens of viewership on phones now. So the excuse of, well, I don't have cable, that doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
It just doesn't matter anymore. And I think when you start looking at the way that the game is changing, you're going to see that sure as Shinola, it's going to matter how many people are getting your product on a phone versus a TV. And if you, and again, if you in the Pac-12 do not expand, there's only two things that you can explain that away with. Oh, well, we didn't want them. They're not good enough for us over here. Or they didn't want you. Because you can sit here and play cool guy, tough dude, spin it for your friends. But when you're laying in bed at night, looking at the ceiling and wondering why North Dakota State chose the Mountain West over the Pac-12, the hard reality sets in. People don't believe in you. People don't want to do business with you. People don't believe in the distribution and the reach that you were selling in your TV deal. These over-the-top number promises that allegedly happened. You can't back it up. And the difference is the Mountain West doesn't have to go and make up value. They have real value, tangible value to sell. And the Pac-12 does not. And that ultimately makes it very difficult for the Pac-12.
Credibility is a hell of a thing. It's
a huge problem. Huge problem. So we'll see. I don't think either one of these conferences is going to thrive. And I wish I was wrong about that. I've said this for over a year now. Neither one of these conferences on their own will thrive. And I don't think merging under current leadership is a possibility. The Pac-12, if they do not terminate Teresa Gould, will never merge. And I do believe if you said to those exiting members, hey, if you could, do you want to come back? I have to believe that half of them would say yes. Have to believe it.
Yeah.
Because now you can't make the argument that you're better off in the Pac-12 than you were in the Mountain West.
There's no way to say that, dude. It's just not factual.
It's not. All right, let's get to your comments on North Dakota State joining the Mountain West. And here's the question I'd like answered in the comment section. Who is better off? The Mountain West or the Pac-12? But not just who's better off. Why are they better off? That's the question today. Let's see. Mountain Mama. I watch the Monty Show, YouTube and other channels on my TV via ONN box that runs Google TV. Do not like watching too much stuff on my phone unless I'm away from home. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. I don't love watching anything on my phone. I agree with that. The only reason Delaric says I have cable is because it's basically free with the deal for internet. It is. Xfinity's got screaming deals. Screaming deals. Why is Ron Loney banned? What did you do, Ron Loney?
Quote, Ron Loney is banned, hasn't been present on the Monty Show in a minute.
He's in timeout. I don't know what as is Conundrum, or was. Conundrum's no longer in timeout, I guess. Okay.
Oh, man. You guys
Conundrum
are so
consistently finds himself.
Yeah.
Matt Muldoon, Sack is asking to join the MAC. I'm serious. Well, that would probably be a mistake, but, Jeremiah Champion. Would the Mountain West take Sacramento? I don't know if they would. I know that they've spoken. So that's interesting. I would have to these deals are not as simple as, hey, do you want to come play football in the Mountain West? All right, cool. Sign this contract. You have to understand exit fees, FCS to FBS. Sacramento State's got lawsuits. All this happening. So there's a lot of spokes that turn these wheels of alignment.
Yeah.
And I think it's not as simple as Sacramento State needs a long-term solution. They've spent a ton of money on infrastructure and humanity. They need to get to FBS. And so far, they've been denied that opportunity. So they wanted to do it as an independent, remember? So, but, since CBS is a central player in both the Pac and the Mountain West media deals, is there a chance they could broker a merger down the road? I don't know. Maybe, but I can tell you that every time it's been broached to the Pac-12, they've said no.
Yeah, I just don't think a merger is going to happen under this current leadership in the Pac-12. And again, this is yet another Pac-12 issue because we know for a fact that the Mountain West has broached merging multiple times, like probably, 5-6 times over the course of the situation at least. And it's just getting knocked down every time. So I like the thought here with CBS. That certainly is a possibility, but I think that this is more of a Pac-12 unwilling to do anything issue.
I would agree. ONN 4K Streamer Pro is a great value. Allows you to side load apps, has plenty of memory. Fire Stick might move to their own OS. Roku is good, but restrictive for side apps. I've never been a Fire Stick Roku.
Plug a box into my TV guy.
My wife doesn't like me to have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
So she bought me a Fire TV, this Amazon TV, and it's great. I have no problem with it. It is really good. So I don't know. You know, I think it's interesting to see how TV has evolved. We don't watch TV the way we used to in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion. Great fit. North Dakota State and Wyoming are an instant rivalry. Add San Diego State and Montana. Down the line, you have a great regional group of South Dakota State. And Montana, down the line, you have a great group regional schools where fans can travel. Yeah? What do you say about Hawaii? Like, I mean, there's just so many odd trips because of all this realignment. Ask USC and UCLA. I mean, there's a lot of that. Smart TVs sometimes will quit updating the apps on them after a few years. Not all, but some. Yeah, I don't know a thing about that. I really don't. You know, it is what it is. Listen, I think that I hate the way we watch TV, and I don't mean to rail about this, and I'm sure you guys would agree with this. I hate the way we watch TV. It just makes me crazy.
Yeah, I don't much.
I don't like the flipping around. Like last night, I'm trying to figure out after the game, hey, where do I want to watch? And I just turned off the TV. Like, I am so fed up. Like right now, Peacock or the Cock, as we affectionately call it. My wife is a huge fan of Olympics. She loves watching the Olympic thing.
Yeah, are you guys into the Olympics, dude? Are you guys into it this year? I feel like it's been massively undersold.
You want to know the problem? It started essentially on Super Bowl weekend. So I didn't watch any Olympics last night. I watched the Super Bowl. And when I say that my wife is an Olympic fan, she's a voracious consumer of stupid shit like speed or ice skating, where dudes are doing
bricked up right now
backflips and short programs.
It's a triple axel twist.
Listen, I am just telling you it's a triple Lutz. But my point is, it's when I watch ice skating. My wife wants to watch it. I want to watch it because my wife wants to watch it. And I actually enjoyed it.
The USA women's hockey program right now is dominating. I mean, you want to talk about domination. That was beautiful hockey.
I'm sure it was.
Just saying.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm trying. Honest to God, I am trying.
Listen, quick sidebar with the Olympics. Can we stop all the tinfoiling around Lindsey Vohn's situation, please? Can we stop saying that Lindsey Vohn's, accident or crash was a PR stunt, that she only did this for clicks and clout and was just looking for attention?
What does that even mean?
So people are saying, so Lindsey Vonn tears her ACL, right? And
no, she ruptured her ACL.
She ruptured her ACL.
Thank you.
Put up a bunch of videos of her squatting and lifting weights. So much made about the brace she was wearing. First run on the downhill, gnarly ass fall because when she was turning
live run.
Dude. Okay, first live run, takes a crash, her arm hits the gate, pulls her body to the right. Nasty, nasty fall. And people are saying that she's only, doing this because she wanted attention, that if she really wanted to be great, she would have rehabbed the ACL and come back next time. And I just think that it's so incredibly disrespectful to the Olympic process and what these people go through, man. You really think she wanted to be out there on a ruptured ACL? You really think she was like, oh yeah, let me go and do that. That's really what we want to be doing. No, it's not. She was doing it because it's probably her last go.
I think people don't understand the sacrifice that Olympians make just to compete. I think people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Honest to God, it's their entire life, and they make very little money. And so they have to go out and hustle sponsorships, and it's not easy. And if you believe that rupturing your ACL, that's the new word for it. If you believe that tearing your ACL is a gimmick, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy. You just can't. Brandon Butler for $5. Yeah, I'm sure the major surgery and rehab is totally worth a few freaking clicks. Exactly.
It's so ridiculous, dude.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous.
Mike Smith, been watching a ton of YouTube clips of the Olympics. The one girl who was doing the downhill jump with the tricks, and as soon as she went off the ramp, one of her skis came off. Wild.
And then landed it. Was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched much Olympics. And we're going to watch it every night now, I think. The Good Wife's going to have to wait. Although I guess we're almost at the end of The Good Wife now. We're in season 7. So the FBI is closing in on Alicia. So we'll see what happens there. Deliric, I watched my first Olympics last night because it came on after the Super Bowl, and I didn't change the channel and left it till went to bed 30 minutes later. Well, that's because Bad Bunny's not talented. Right. Iowa fan says toe pick, Monty. Exactly right.
Right.
Conundrum, you got filtered again? Dude, it's not that hard.
Conundrum is burning in timeout.
How do you get... Yeah. Let's see. ABQ red or green makes pink. Mountain West Conference still wants Toledo, and it's getting harder for Toledo to say no. Gloria is doing an amazing job. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Water is wet. Chris Paul is hurt in the playoffs. The beard won't make the finals. Conundrum gets the ban hammer, and the Pac-12 makes bad business decisions.
The ban hammer.
Dick Hammer.
I could set my watch to this.
Well, you're not wrong, bro.
You probably should. You probably should. What was this? Marcus wants to know, what was this golf nonsense over the weekend? What do you mean golf nonsense over the weekend?
You guys have been doing a great job watching the golf content on our channel. We had a golf short over the weekend do 16,000 views, bro. So you guys are eating up the golf content, bro.
Was that my golf short or your golf short?
No, it was yours. It was yours from the range where you're wearing the Nike hoodie. 16,000 views as of this morning, which is incredible.
I'll take it. 252 likes too. See, you guys hit the like button, more people watch.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Gabriel's got a confession for you, Morty. Look at this. Good morning, Monty and Jake. Well, good morning.
Yes. Okay. I have a confession to make. I am not a PSG fan. I left that nickname to spite you a little bit. Okay. Well, you're never getting away from that. I mean, whoa. I mean, it's entertaining, especially the swings. It is. And the environment is so beautiful as well. I don't know what we're talking about. I have to tell you that the power cut is working. Mrs. Monty and I we go to a particular jeweler, and he is a golf fanatic. And so I went to have I have a watch where I had a dead battery. So I drove out to this watch store, this jeweler, and I said, I'm supposed to be playing golf today. This was Saturday, but obviously it's pouring rain. And he goes, well, I got a tee time at up in Everett at 8:15 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I got a tournament. You want to join?
So I said yes. And drug Mrs. Monty out there. One, it was really cold and really wet. And I actually played pretty well. I shot a 45 for 9 for 18. It was 18 holes. I shot 45. It's an all-time record. I shot 45. And for my second round of the year, I shot a 43 on Friday when I played. Pretty happy with that. I found my new favorite course, Bellevue Golf Club. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Open fairways, one of the things I don't miss about mountain golf is the very narrow fairways.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really liked about my old course, Glenmore, was open fairways. Like even if you lost a drive left or right a little bit, you could still play it. The good news is I only missed one fairway yesterday. The bad news is I did not wear spikes. I had on Jordan 1 lows. And so my front foot slipped a lot, which changed my golf swing a little bit. But I'm fully back into it. My wife caddied for me yesterday, and she's actually figured out how to be a good caddy. It's wild.
What does that mean?
She knows how to read greens, and I don't. One of the things I'm not great at is reading greens. I putt very well. I mean, I'm actually.
I was going to say in the video, it looked like you were putting fine. It looked like you were putting good.
I burned edges all day yesterday. All 9 holes. I very much burned edges. But it's because me and my wife are sitting there like talking about the read on the green. And we just had a really good time. It's too bad it was so wet and so cold. It was probably low to mid 40s the entire round.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that our weekend shenanigans are going to be more of the same.
Oh, do you? I haven't looked at the weather.
It's supposed to rain, so I'm going to be going over to the good old sporting goods store to get a rain shell for the weekend.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, well, you got to have something to play in, right? You got to have something that can wick the water. I played, let's see, Saturday. I originally only had 9 holes scheduled at my course, but it was so dead because it had rained that I wound up playing like 14 holes in like 2 hours. And it was great, but it was on and off rain. It was the classic P&W soaking moisture.
Yes.
So I need a shell of some kind that can handle the water.
Well, I'll tell you the different golf in the P&W, you have to get ball first. If you hit behind the ball at all, you're done. Yeah. You're done. Gabriel, not going to lie, Monty, the way Live Golf is going, I think you have a shot at making a competition. I honestly, it's so bad right now. It's so bad right now.
Patrick Reed grinding through the DP World Tour to get his card back is one of the best stories in golf.
He's won 3 straight,
dude. And what's the best part about it is nobody likes him, which is why it's not a bigger story.
Well, that's true.
Because if he was likable, I think it'd be dominating the news.
With that awful Nike sweatshirt. Why is my Nike sweatshirt awful?
Yeah, why are you hating on that? Let me guess. You're an Under Armour apparel guy, aren't you? You're not even an Adidas schmuck. You're an Under Armour guy saying that the Nike hoodie's terrible, aren't you?
Yeah, I love that Nike. Everything's too big on me right now. Honestly, it's everything is too. Losing weight is great. But I don't have a golf jacket or vest that fits. There's some video of me on Instagram. This jacket that I have I'm swimming in it. It is so terribly embarrassing how fat I used to be. Like it is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Is the Mountain West better off because they have competent leadership who went and got, which is something the Pac-12 cannot say? I would agree with that. No, the logo takes up the whole body.
Yeah, that's the design of the hoodie,
That's the design of the hoodie.
That's the whole point, brother.
Let me see if I can find.
Like, what do you mean? So wait, if it takes up the whole body, you don't like that. You prefer just the little swoosh, is what you're saying. That's your preferred take.
All right, let me see if I can put this picture in. Yeah, the difference with for me and you, I have an elite practice facility.
Yeah.
I have a really, really good practice facility. That's the part that's the major advantage that I have. Is here I have a covered, heated practice facility. And so I get to practice all the time. Would that be in downloads then? There it is. So I don't have to worry about if it's raining outside or not. I can always go to the range. There's the sweatshirt. What's wrong with that sweatshirt?
Yeah, I think that sweatshirt's baller, dude. I like it's so unique to have the swoosh take up the whole hoodie like that. Like you don't see that
What's
very
wrong
often.
with that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't have any issue with that.
I mean, yeah, I'm struggling with clothing right now. I'm not even going front.
Now, I will say, the other thing you and I differ on is I can't practice or do anything golf related in basketball shoes. I can't do that. I have to have my shoes on.
Look how fat I was, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just so incredible. What do you mean you can't golf?
I don't like the one of my favorite parts about either the Scotties or the Jordan 1 low golf shoe is that there's just comfort wise, you feel like you're on the ground, but you can also lean on it. Like when you lean forward or like it gives you that lateral support. And I don't, it's just a thing for me. It's weird for me to wear like I can, even in just a regular Jordan 1 basketball shoe, I don't even like wearing that on the range. I really like what they do with the golf shoe. And I have to have that. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I don't ever wear golf shoes on turf. But we pulled out the spikes last night and yeah. Does Marty's Golf IPF have an upper deck? Yes.
Yes, it does.
It is a double decker. I kid you not.
I've never been up to the second level. Top Golf, but not Top Golf.
It is Top Golf. Yep, that's exactly right. It's a double decker. Boy, this course that I played at Friday, you guys are going to think this is self-serving, whatever. I was warming up to play 9 holes Friday, and there was this group of Asian golfers there standing to my right, so in front of me. And there was this group of old men standing behind me. And I pull out the big stick, and I really have been driving the ball very well. It's been very refreshing because I've really struggled the last year to drive the ball. But long story short, I was hitting the driver off the back net. Like think of Top Golf, and it's got this big back net.
Yeah,
I was hitting my driver off of that back net. I was absolutely raking. And do you ever do that awkward thing where you realize everybody's staring at you or watching you? That happened, and then one of the old guys was like, "You should probably club down."
Why?
And I'm like, "Why am I clubbing down, man?
What's the point of the net?"
And I said to him, "Well, thanks for the advice." And I hit one more, and then I left and went and played because it was time to play. But it's just
that practice facility is on a course.
Not the one where I played at where we're playing at Bellevue next Saturday. You'll see it.
Okay.
And they just have this back net.
Gotcha.
And I don't even know how far it is. It's probably only 250 or something. But I was banging balls off that back net like midway up the wall. It was entertaining. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. 13 hours till pitchers and catchers reporting.
Let's go, baby.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready. The Cubs with Bregman. We need one more bat. That's what I'll say. What is Teresa Gould's objective? What is Teresa Gould's objection to a Mountain West merger? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's
pride
what everyone's
and ego.
Questioning. Yeah, I mean,
pride
nobody understands why you wouldn't want to merge.
Pride and ego.
Pride and ego. Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost the, and maybe it isn't pride and ego. Maybe it's more just stubbornness, right? Because I get the feeling that it's much more like, hey, we're so far down the path now, like we're almost obligated to see it through one way or the other. Like we're almost obligated to suffer from the decision or to dissolve versus just putting our pride aside and saying we made a mistake and what's best for our student athletes and really everyone involved is to merge, but they won't.
Because nobody ever does the right thing. No. Whoa. Comment down. The real question is, will the Pac-2 sue North Dakota State? Well, why not? Already paid that retainer, boys.
Why not? I mean, who wouldn't want to sue someone else? I mean, come on. Idiots.
Timmy, get some chips and salsa.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
God, we're so gonna get our butts kicked by Japan when the World Baseball Classic starts. Probably.
That's the thing about baseball, bro. Yeah, they've got that roster. Ain't no question about that.
Their
dude.
roster. You mean Japan's roster?
Yeah,
Japan's roster is. I was looking at the World Baseball Classic Saturday, and the roster for the Japanese team is
ridiculous.
It should be outlawed. And if they don't win, come on. I mean, if you just look at, and I just think it's fun. Yeah, their roster is, and Shohei's not going to pitch for them, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's not going to pitch.
I know they've got such a shortage of arms.
Oh, dude. I mean, what do they have? 15 pitchers on their roster, I think. Like, it's insane. Their roster is, I mean, even Seiya Suzuki is playing for them, my beloved. So we'll see. But the funny thing about their roster, which obviously I'm not going to be able to pull up in time here, but the funny thing about their roster is, I think it's hysterical that they have a baseball quality assistant coach in Japan. We don't have that. Are you saying the Japanese are going to commit Harry Carey if they lose? I will see myself. You should probably go to timeout. That they cannot lose.
Listen, Brandon,
they cannot lose.
Stylishly going into word timeout is nothing to be ashamed of, dude. I can get down with that. That's cool. Banning is another thing, but word timeouts, that's fine.
Yeah. Delaric, Teresa objection to merger is she would lose her job. Yeah, probably. Being unemployed is why. Chances are the presidents of schools would rather Gloria run things after all the fiascos by the PAC leadership. Yeah. But listen, I think the hard reality is I don't think that Teresa Gould is the one turning it down necessarily. She can't just summarily say no. She has to take it to her constituents. I think now that the TV deals are out and now that North Dakota State's in the Mountain West, you got to ask again. If you want to merge, which I have to think that you would. But I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense, which is why it won't happen. I love that word timeout has become a thing we use to punish people on the show. Yeah, it's your fault, Jeremiah. These goddamn teachers putting everybody in word timeout. Jeremiah is legitimately a teacher, by the way.
Now
and he has a roommate who can't do anything but piss on the floor.
Yeah.
So have you guys had that conversation? What do you do if your roommate?
Yeah. So can you walk us through the discovery on that? I mean, did you just walk into the apartment one day and the carpet smelled like pee, or what happened?
No, I'm sure there was a puddle on the bathroom floor. But guys, see, here's the problem. We always get blamed for this. Girls have aim problems too, right? Like, listen, I've lived a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, but I'm not saying, but
I personally believe
that
dudes are not the only ones with aiming problems in the Iraq.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you. If you're one of these dudes that pees on the floor and you don't clean it up, that should be prison. Jail time.
You got anything to say, quite frankly? Fuck you.
Yeah, that is a felony. He would usually wake up right before I would leave for work, and I'm not using hyperbole here. A drop made it into the toilet, and there's a huge puddle on the side to the toilet.
Fuck you. You suck.
Oh, dude.
I have had to have a couple of conversations.
Dude, why don't you just have a room to room, roommate to roommate, teacher, parent, friend, conference about it?
Okay, if you came to me and were like, hey, dude, I know that we have moments. Monty, we have moments, but you left a puddle of urine on the side of the toilet. Could you You wouldn't have to say another word. I would grab one of your bath towels and clean up my urine. Like
Kitty
I
cat
would do
juices
it.
is not all over the place.
I would clean it up immediately and be humiliated.
His
To the
standards
point
don't matter.
where I would never, ever, not even in a fire would I miss the bowl again. You've had to have the key word here is a couple of conversations.
Bro, what?
Do you have no humility? If some dude's
He claims, brother, he claims it was because he's a little too groggy in the morning. Hold on. Stop everything. I can get up in the middle of the night. Not that this ever happens to me. It's extremely rare I pee in the middle of the night. But
Not
if
me,
I
I
do,
every day.
when I do, typically it's with my eyes closed because I'm sleepy. I'm not trying to wake up, walk up to the toilet, get the aim right, close the eyes. You're just listening. If you hear the water, you're doing good, dude. That's it. It's not that hard.
I'm telling you, if you don't have a toilet bowl light, because you don't, if you are a veteran nighttime pee guy, such as in life,
hammer.
Yeah, when you walk into your bathroom, I sleep in a pitch dark room. So I walk into my bathroom and I have a toilet bowl light that is motion activated. It turns on. I put two hands on
in the middle of the bathroom.
Listen. I expose I expose the unit, and then the two hands go on the wall, and I lean.
You
and
are
turn
not
the hip.
two-hand leaner guy in the middle of the night, dude.
Because it assures that the aim is correct. It assures that the aim is correct. And now I have a picture above my toilet of a dog taking a dump reading a newspaper. So I have to now carefully place my hands. I have two hands on the wall and then you drop that thing like it's hot, man. And I'm telling you, the biggest thing that I hate about the building I live in is the water is cold and the pipe is long and deep.
Stop it. Stop it.
Everybody is outraged.
Dude. I don't understand. I can't relate to these guys in public bathroom urinals who post up on the wall with their pants around their ankles and are just going to town on the urinal.
Yeah, we've talked about that guy before.
Come
on.
That
really? Yeah, I don't want to touch anything in a public bathroom. I went into Costco the other day and Jeremiah's roommate had clearly been there.
My skin is curling.
I'm not touching anything but my joint. And then I'm doing what I got to do. And
I do what I got to do. And then I get back in bed.
Away. Two hands on the wall is from too many butt doctor visits and prison time. Hey, man, you do a nickel upstate and see what stays with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, two hands. Bro, yes, two hands on the wall.
Nah, dude. There are very few of us using that technique, I think. Could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I also don't. I don't ever put a drop wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Again, sure. I used to work. I used to clean bathrooms at Publix, and trust me, don't touch anything. Nothing.
That's disgusting, dude.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. That is. That's filthy, dude.
Monty, I just joined in here, and here folks are posting about hour 3 type stuff. What's up with that? Well. Look, you're a San Diego State fan, so it's.
I mean, it is hour 3. I don't know.
Hour
if you're
3
aware
is
of
the
that.
pro rata that you deserve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So that's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah. This is hour 3. I don't know if you're aware.
Last one on peeing. I have seen dudes do that in the restroom, and it's nasty.
I just don't get it. Who taught you to do that, dude? What kind of etiquette is that?
And I've had too many interactions with drop trowel guy at a urinal. If you're leaving your pants around your ankles at a urinal, there's something wrong with you. That's not normal behavior. Nobody wants to see that.
Hell no.
Nobody wants to see where the good Lord split you. I'm just not. There's no need.
Yeah. See, and then there's the TJ Becks of the world right here, and this is something that I'm sure you can relate with, right?
Yeah, it was immaculate. Harrods in London is. Yeah, I love Harrods.
Biologics.
I stayed down the street from Harrods over the holidays, and it was amazing. But I'm telling you now, nobody needs to see your bald ass when we're in the bathroom. There's just no, and the other thing is, like, mothers, you don't get to bring your son into the men's room. Okay, like, if you got to bring your kid into the bathroom, go into your bathroom. Like, I had a woman walk into the Costco bathroom over the weekend, and it was traumatizing. Right? Like, lady,
human or non-human?
If you're bringing your little kids into the bathroom, go into your own bathroom. Right? Like, come on, man. As a paramedic, I have seen bodily fluids in some very creative places.
Dude. Bro.
No, I'm not going to ask like what. I like to stand in front of the urinal, arch my back backwards, step back twice, and let it flow while saying, "Who wants to drink from the fire hose?"
Wow.
Mike?
Well said.
PSG fan Gabriel. I've seen beer cans. I've seen tiny shot bottles. I've seen mud on the walls. I've never, ever used a public bathroom unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
I've joined the no sitting down crowd. But
yeah, I'm not about that life.
Dude, you got to, when you got to go, you got to go. It's what you got to do.
So I said, yeah.
Right? I mean, you don't have a choice.
I guess. Dude.
What choice do you have?
Yeah.
You know, when you, seriously.
To fight it, battle it, I guess.
Right there.
I don't know.
You got to go. You got to go.
So then you hover.
It depends.
Physiologically, it's a non-starter.
You know. All right. Couple other things that we need to get to. I want to play this Lane Kiffin bite. Do you guys still hate Lane Kiffin? If you don't hate Lane Kiffin, I'm just going to warn you now, you're going to hate Lane Kiffin after you. Lane Kiffin likes LSU a lot.
No, I said it, now it's like floating around here, but as they come to visit, they say the same thing. Like a lot of times in that Sunday meeting, you know, that final meeting that you have with them, which like, it's just different. It's a different feeling when you come here, and that's not the financial piece. It's just LSU, and they go down and, you know, they walk through the cafeteria here and the student athletes, and you feel like you're in an Olympic training site because you just look at it. Here's the best baseball players in the world and the best, you know, women's basketball players. And it's just a feeling that they got around here. And I don't know if that's really considered resources, but that's a tremendous value.
LSU is special. It's like family.
Bro.
It has pangs of that.
Family.
But Lane Kiffin dropped the LSU's just different. It's just different here.
So much better.
Well, it is. It is, I'm telling you. And then the Kiffinator actually dropped some real world knowledge that makes a lot of sense.
So in those evaluations, usually come in and make a lot of changes. And especially if the program made a change, you know, and fired a staff because they didn't like the direction of the football program, which is what happened. So I know at first there was a lot of skepticism about so many players going in the portal, but I just looked at it and was like, okay, what's my answer to you as the fans and media too if we just kept the same players? I mean, we are good coaches, I think, but we also, you know, don't have magic dust too, you know, so we changed a lot because there needed to be changes. Same within the building. Doesn't mean, it just means it was done a different way.
So is the transfer portal how you bail kids out of your program? Because I think what Lane is saying there is, dude, we need to get rid of these shitty players. And that's why the portal's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll continue to tell you, for everybody who likes to vilify, you know, the guy without toes, Deion Sanders, and rip him for being, Louis. They're right, aren't they? When you take over a football program that's struggling, you need to cut the bottom half of that roster off. Yeah! And you need to portal kids in because that's how you win. And so we've done this thing where we vilify the transfer portal. I actually think the transfer portal is invaluable. It has to happen. It's interesting. I was talking to some of the football coaches at Washington over the weekend about Damon Williams. And one of their coaches asked me, hey, who do you think was at fault there? It was very interesting. It's like he was fishing and he threw the hook into the water. And I think he thought it was just, well, Damon's fucking in this and he's up to it. And I said, well, I don't think Damon's at fault. He got bad advice from somebody and he tried to leverage the system to make more money on bad advice. And that's exactly what happened. He got terrible advice. So the transfer portal is really good when it's really good. I think it's got the opportunity to cause havoc and disaster as we've seen. But again, to the original point, Lane Kiffin's not wrong. And nobody likes him except me. I'm the only guy that throat slams Lane Kiffin pretty regularly. I think he's excellent at his job. I think LSU is different and special. And I think they're going to win a lot of football games this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would agree that they're going to win a lot of football games. I think the portal is it's the one thing that really kind of defines who you are as a coach nowadays. You know, if you're pro portal, if you're all about it and you know how to use it, like you're a modern day guy and you can make a lot of money right now, you know, but if you're one of these guys that is more interested in talking about tampering and pre-portal this, post-portal that, like, I just think that it's just a very cut and dry kind of world right now. Like, I get that there are, like, everyone's gripe with the portal is like illegal activity and coaches who are chopping off the bottom half of their roster, and that's not good for the student athlete and X, Y, and Z. But it is a business. I mean, these guys do have a job to do. Like, they are paid to win and make the athletic department money. And I think people like to forget about that little piece. The piece about, hey, football pays the bills, and if you're good in basketball, that helps. Like, I think sometimes we forget about the pressures of being a college football coach at that level. And I think that Lane, you know, is not everyone's cup of tea. You know, I think a lot of people feel like Lane is pretty self-serving and is very much a me first guy. But I would contend that Lane Kiffin took Ole Miss to places they had never been. I would contend that Lane Kiffin has had his struggles in his career and has figured out how to turn it around. And I think that Lane Kiffin has just embraced what college football is now, which is you need money to get the top talent. And then he's got to go and take that top talent and win when it matters most, which is what he did at Ole Miss. So I don't have a problem with Lane Kiffin overall. I do think that the excuses are over with. You're at LSU. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, right? Like, you're going to define your legacy. You're going to become an all-time great. You're going to do all that great stuff. Or you're going to be remembered as a bit of a disappointment who was really good at getting kids and coaching teams and getting to the CFP but can't win. That's where he is.
Not to completely go off script, did you guys hear the details about this James Pierce Jr. situation? The Falcons linebacker who's in jail. Did you guys hear about this story? Jake, did you hear about this story?
No.
James Pierce Jr., the very good linebacker for the or rookie for the Falcons, was arrested over the weekend on a domestic violence charge. And people were trying to figure out what had happened. Because he was arrested on 5 domestic violence charges. 5. And it was like, okay, well, you're charging him with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon as well as stalking. Huh. Okay. Well, now, according to media reports, Pierce allegedly crashed his vehicle into one being driven by WNBA star Rakia Jackson multiple times. And when police arrived on the scene, a chase ensued in which James Pierce Jr. allegedly struck a police officer with the vehicle while evading arrest, according to a complaint obtained by ESPN. Bro, I will never understand dudes and chicks. This is not normal. This is crazy. This story, I am shocked by the details in this. Fearing for her safety, Rakia Jackson stated that she accelerated away from the intersection because at 9:25 on Saturday morning, Jackson noticed James Pierce's Lamborghini Urus behind her as she turned into her neighborhood. They said she kept driving. As she stopped at a red light, Pierce got out of his vehicle and tried to open her driver's side door. Fearing for her safety, she accelerated away from the intersection. He re-entered his vehicle and continued pursuing her at a high rate of speed. Jackson called 911 and tried to drive to the police headquarters. Pierce purposely rear-ended her. Police said that Jackson drove in multiple circles around an area of the police station in an attempt to evade Pierce. As she got nearer to the police station, he again cut her off and blocked her access to the police station. As she reversed her vehicle in an attempt to escape Pierce, he intentionally collided head-on with her vehicle. Officers arrived soon after, and as officers pulled out their guns and ordered Pierce to the ground, the athlete ignored the commands and got back in his Lamborghini. Police said the officer tried to open the door to get Pierce out twice, but he drove away and hit an officer in the knee as he fled. The officers, he fled. A pursuit ensued. Pierce eventually crashed and got out of the vehicle and fled. While officers were attempting to apprehend him, he began to resist arrest by, here we go, tensing his arms and not allowing officers to apprehend him. After a short struggle, the defendant was taken into custody. Booked on 2 accounts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and 1 count each of aggravated stalking, fleeing, and eluding, aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting without violence. Jesus. Like, what do you even do here? What do you even do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, he's clearly not right. He's unwell for whatever reason. There's a myriad of reasons, I'm sure. But I think NFL stories like this have shown us that there's 2 sides to every story, man. And there's a lot of stuff that's clearly gone on here, I think. I mean, you don't I guess I just have trouble believing dude took his Lamborghini Urus and went on a wild goose chase, essentially, because he was mad at her. Is that what is that what the initial reaction is? Like, I think that there's clearly stuff happening here. And I think that what nobody just wants to say is this is clearly a relationship gone wrong to a severe degree. That's just what this is. And there's emotions, there's vitriol, there's, I would guess, hatred.
Yeah.
And this guy happens to be an NFL player with access to money and resources. And that I think for some guys changes you. I mean, it's talked about so much in the NFL that you're on such a grind to get there, that when you finally do get there and you get the money and you see your bank account and you no longer have $5 in there, you've got $5 million in there. Like, it kind of changes you and your expectation with life. And so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what details come out, but you can't tell me it's just hey, he woke up and was pissed off.
Yeah, this look, reading these stories it's absolutely brutal. You worry about the guy's safety. I mean,
Well, listen, her safety is, I think, in the moment, probably the higher priority, considering he was the aggressor and had control. But
Well, I mean, both their
his
safety is in question,
his
but you have got to get help. You got to help this
yeah,
guy.
I mean, this guy needs. This guy needs some time off. This guy needs some time to be brought back to earth a little bit.
This is. I mean, you look at how much he lost right now. This is, what do you have, 10.5 sacks last year or something? Like, a guy was a dominant rookie. This is in Doral, Florida, which is a well-to-do community. Like, this is not a game. This is not a game. And that is real.
We'll see. I mean, I think that as usual in these cases, his willingness to kind of think with a clearer head about the situation after, he's been booked and processed, and he actually sits down and like is done for the day with everybody and can just kind of work through it. I mean, it can be everything from you're spending time in a cell to you're just on probation and you got to handle that, but you can still play. And that's my point with these type of things. Like, this is clearly an emotional outburst that manifested itself through this type of incident.
I need to understand dudes and their chicks. Like, I don't understand this at all. And I know I talk about this all the time. Like, we've talked about this with the Epstein files now, just all of these times where dudes wind up losing their existence over a woman. I'll never understand. You can't tell me this isn't mental illness. You cannot tell me this isn't addiction, that this dude's got everything to wake up for every day, and you're ramming people with your Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Not your Honda Civic, your Lamborghini Urus. I'll never understand it. I will never understand it. And again, this is another one of those stories where I say, hey, if you got young boys in your home, you should be talking about this. If you got young girls in your home, you should be talking about this. It just is. This cat seemingly on the outside has everything to live for. You've got an NFL contract. You're an elite NFL performer. You're arguably the most important defensive player they have because of your age and production. You've got money. You have enough money to drive a Lamborghini Urus and live in Doral, Florida. I'm going to say something's not right here. And you attacked a woman. And I'll never understand it. This is crazy to me.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
What are we living in the upside down? You guys think about how much oddity, like this whether it's this Bad Bunny halftime show and people losing their mind over it, politics, relations.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I think it's all about, with the world we live in now. It's more valuable now than it's ever been, in my opinion, to be able to get your home life set up in a way that allows you to enjoy yourself, in the day to day, whether that's, whether you own your house already and you've got that all done, or whether you're looking to do that, I think that you need to be, whether you live in a downtown or you live in the middle of the country, you need to be set up in a place where you're happy with it and it allows you to do your thing, because the reality is, you go out into the world, you just never know what can happen. And I think that I feel like we all do our best to avoid conflicts and to avoid getting into trouble, if you will, or, having issues. But you just never know. And that's what I think is difficult. And that's my point about the money is you're right. I mean, this guy's got everything to wake up for and, work for and do, but he just is so enthralled with drama with this lady, this woman, that he's unable to stay focused on what he needs to do.
I just look at sports. I look at buddy with the Tampa Bay Rays, whose name just went right out of my head. Whether it is O.J. Simpson, Ray Caruth, look at Ray Lewis at the Super Bowl that year. You look at these guys who just can't seem to make good choices. John Morant just can't seem to make good choices. Kobe at Eagle, Colorado, just can't make good choices. This Chauncey Billups stuff, this Terry Rozier stuff, the gambling stuff, we just can't make good choices. And these are the elites of the elites financially. Like this DeMarcus Lawrence story that came out Super Bowl week where he was broke. He's broke after his rookie contract. Broke. Flat broke. Spent money like it was no object. And now, luckily for him, he completely changed his life. And now he is putting money away. And he's in a great position. But you look at these guys, and there's just no foundation. There's no decision making, nothing.
No, because they just living in the moment. That's it. There's no vision forward. It's not like a lot of guys, and this is, this has been talked about for ages, but whether it's NFL players or otherwise, like you have to get to a point where you're making moves to help yourself in the future, and that's it's not just a retirement money thing. I think it's a 5 years from now thing, a 3 years from now. Like what can I make the picture look like 3 years from now, a year from now? I mean, it's all about what you're doing. And those guys literally just get handed a signing bonus of, in a lot of cases, millions of dollars, at a minimum, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And all of a sudden life looks way different. Now, all of a sudden, all your bills are paid and you don't really know what to do. And so a lot of guys don't have that inherent, well, I'm doing this not for the money, but for myself, for myself and to get my family in a good spot. And that's where I think guys get lost, that in that moment right there. If you're a guy who got that big ass rookie contract and spent all through it, that means that you don't have great people around you, that you don't have people around you who are like, hey dude, like, I'm all down. You want to get yourself a nice car and like, you want to, get a house and do that. That's great. I'm cool with that. But then after that, we gotta talk about like being responsible and basically making it so money's never a problem for you again. And a lot of guys don't have that person.
It's wild to me. It is. Oh man, this is rough. And that's why like this halftime show stuff, like people are like, oh, the All-American halftime show. Marcus just sent me a thing where it's pretty much now been believed, confirmed, like the All-American halftime show was taped and Kid Rock allegedly wasn't singing. Like, and this is what we're arguing over as a society. And you hear this stuff, and all this shit is done to divide us. Yeah. I hope people understand that. All of this stuff is done to divide us, and we let it happen. And then you hear stories like this cat that's got everything going for him. And we just can't get it right. I'm amazed by it. Ray Caruth. Oh, man. You remember that with his pregnant girlfriend, and now he's in jail, and Henry Ruggs comes to mind. Like,
I just think it's a very, and we don't really talk about it a ton on the show, generally speaking. I mean, occasionally, but like, I just think it's a doom and gloom time, man. I think it's a time where the vibes aren't great. I think it's a time where you have to be solely out for you, man. You just have to be. You have to be in a place where you're setting yourself up and you're doing what's best for you. That's what you can control. And I think that people will love and hate the decisions you make, but they're your decisions. So if your decision is to go buy a Lamborghini Urus, great, but let's not make a decision that puts us in prison for 3 years. Like, don't do that. Let's, buy the car, but make sure that you've got somewhere to park it. There's a right way and a wrong way to do certain things. And clearly there's a lot more wrong happening than right now, which is why I always tell you guys who listen to the show every day, like, go and do the things that make you happy. Go and do the things that will put you in a good spot, 5-10 years down the line, because you won't regret it. You will not regret that.
You'll never regret it. Right? Like, yeah, it's crazy. Wow. What a crazy story. I hope, you know what, man? I hope they get the help they need. Like, it's just, I think, and this is where I'll end the show, I guess, today, unfortunately, because I wanted to talk about other things, but you have to understand that people in your life need help. And I hope that you will reach out to people. And when somebody expresses concern or, hey, I need help them, there is no reason not to. There is no reason not. It costs you absolutely nothing to be nice to people. It costs you absolutely nothing to say something nice, to be kind, to be good to people. That costs you absolutely nothing. And I hope that today, when you're going about your business, that you will just say hello to somebody or give somebody a smile, flash a smile at somebody you don't know, just because it costs you nothing to be nice and treat people well. That's what I would hope. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Always good to be here with you. I appreciate you guys watching the show. Please hit the like button on the way out the door. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.